So I consulted the Exarch, who apprised me of the details of the operation and issued me certain instructions. Should the situation take a turn for the worse, I was to see you all safely to II Mheg. And here we are.
Urianger has called this place home for a while now, yet we have never called upon him, I am ashamed to say. 'Twas only at the Crystarium that we met.
Hardly surprising. This is not the sort of place one visits on a whim. Happily, having trespassed on Urianger's hospitality for a spell, Minfilia and I have an idea of how things work around here. Sooner or later, the Ilmorans will come after us. But before they do, the Exarch bids us accomplish two things. First, rendezvous with Urianger. And second, eliminate the Light Warden of this land.
So, Minfilia. What made you leave Thancred behind, if you don't mind me asking?
You. The hero from another world. I was asleep when I felt it. A presence. Someone I was meant to meet. They were close and I knew I had to go to them. But with all the commotion in Lakeland, I was afraid that Thancred wouldn't let me.
And would I have been wrong? Had I arrived a moment later, you would be back in your cell in Yulmore. And now we have Ranjit snapping at our heels. You really have outdone yourself this time.
My god, Thancred. That regen was really strong, dude. As soon as that enfeeblement wore off, I would have been back on my feet and I would have smashed Ranjit.
I'm sorry. Thank you for saving me.
Oh, poor thing being scolded so.
Who said that? Show yourselves.
Come now, put away that frown and have some fun with us. Yes, let us have some fun. Lots and lots of fun.
Which way was it to Urianger's?
We've been there so many times, but I can't. Why can't I remember?
2.0 Thancred would be so embarrassed.
Caught in their spell.
I mean, how old is Thancred now? He's been here for 5 years. It's more than a few years. Thancred in... Let me just look this up. Thancred in 2.0 was... how old was Thancred in 2.0? Older than you would think. 32 in 2.0. He's 32. So by Stormblood, he'd be closer to 34. So, here, he's pushing 40. He's pushing 40. Yeah. I mean, his mind, anyway. His mind and his soul. Yeah. But you're right, like, show him this cutscene. Show this cutscene to 2.0 Thancred. We bab 2.0 Thancred. Oh man. II Mheg is the fairy kingdom, and as one might expect, it is home to the Fey folk. The most prominent among them are the pixies, who have a penchant for making mischief. They use powerful illusions to play tricks on all who venture into their domain. By way of an example, they can make a familiar path seem wholly unfamiliar, or lead you to believe you're somewhere you're not. And we are now, I am sorry to say, entirely at their mercy. You know what? I think I am gonna glamour maybe just this bit. Because I actually really like the Crystarium gear. Oh, and you can dye the coat. Oh, I don't have any pink dye. Shit. Damn it. I don't have any dye of any kind. Damn it. Feels bad, man. I got like vomit green. And that's it. That's alright. You know what? The red's fine. The red's nice. Cast Glamour. I'm probably going to be replacing my chest piece pretty soon anyway. Oh god, look at this. This is an alt, alright? Don't look. Don't look at my inventory. Don't judge. I'll get rid of some stuff soon. Promise. You've seen people seriously suggesting that everything up to 5.0 took place in less than a year? No. We don't know for sure. But no. The thing is, like, different patches take place in different time frames. So the example I like to use in 3.3, at the end of 3.3, there's a 6-week time skip as the Ishgardian Parliament is being formed. And there's a couple of things like that. Like during Stormblood, when you come back to Girabanya after being away doing the stuff in Othard, someone makes mention of, you know, it being several moons or something like that. So it seems like we can take an educated guess that the events of 4.0 take place over several months. The events of 2.0 and ARR seem to be like fairly quick. And Shadowbringers, again, it seems like when we're done with 5.0, we go back to the source. Only like a couple of days have passed on the source. So it's difficult. The time bubble is a very real thing, and it's deliberately ambiguous. But to say it's been less than 12 months between 2.0 and 5.0, I think is really stretchy. Anyway, as it stands, we cannot hope to find the way to Urianger. That we must convince the pixies to lift the spell. From what I could make of their voices, the creatures want to play with us. If that is the case, they should permit us to find their village, leader Laran. Come, I have a sneaking suspicion this path will lead us directly into their midst. Oh, and I should mention that Minfilia has been informed of our situation, of the different worlds and our mission. You may consider her an ally. Brinstar Snarling! Thank you so much for 6 months, my friends. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Oh, Maineth, you show off. You dang show off. Leader Laran. Alright, let's not forget to grab the ether, right? You guys think it's been rough with the same time in-game from ARR launch to now it's been years IRL? It definitely hasn't been that long. My guesstimate is like about 2 years. I wonder if Thancred knows. You know, I can't decide whether the saddest one of these is the knight that was starting to transform into a Sin Eater. That they turned into a Leafman, or the shepherd that refused to leave, wanted to protect his flock. Well, here we are. Yeah, the pixies are nowhere to be seen. Knowing them, their games have already begun. In which case... Ethys, there's a variety of plants native to these parts with a distinctive furled tip. Looking grass is its name, so called because it can be used to spy pixies, believe it or not. I'll explain how I know all of this later, but first I need you to help me find some. Oh, if a voice calls to you, under no circumstances should you respond. You'll only subject yourself to further mischief. Okay. Fix my beard up again. Greetings, mortal. What is your name? None of your business. How long the boat trip to Kugane was? It was a couple of weeks, I think. I think it was 2 weeks. Have anyone tried answering here? Yeah, has anyone been stupid enough? What is that, your seat, child? Perhaps I can help you find it. No. Such a rude child and too clever by half. I shall seek my fun elsewhere. The fey creatures have power over you if they know your name. I think there was something about like true names here in II Mheg. It just heavies you. Oh, I see. Oh, a visitor. Where you from, pray tell? Perhaps this one's hard of hearing. What brings you here? Ugh, stone deaf. How boring. Still, picking parts at our village is as good as indulging in our hospitality. And who are we to turn you away? Stay a while. Stay forever. Ooh. Is this them literally like trying to turn us into a leafman? It kind of feels that way, doesn't it? Stay a while and listen. That's quite a treasure you have there in that snailling. I take it you met with some trouble. Apologies for subjecting you to that. Can I assume from your presence that you managed to find us some looking grass? Yes, this is the stuff. Us armed, we should be able to see through the pixies' veil of invisibility. And seeing them is the first step to dealing with them. Come, let's gather everyone and put Uriange's little trick to good use.
Farasitha, Krakleath.
No, we are found. How did this mortal know our trick?
Wait, I recognize their souls. These two have been here before. Look, twins! How adorable!
Oh,
Play with us!
We have neither the time nor inclination to play. We have come to see Uriange.
oh yes, Uriange, the peculiar one.
Yes, it is a common myth, Geshpence, and it comes from old Gaelic folklore.
In return for a place in II Mheg, he agreed to a riddle contest with us for 7 days and 7 nights without any sleep.
Yeah, and he won.
Oh, that was so much fun! We must do it again!
I'm sure he'd be delighted. Now, if you'd be so kind as to lift your spell.
I don't know why, but so many of the pixie voices remind me of Oblivion voice actors.
Should we?
Just the really like
What now?
hyperbolic kind of melodramatic voice acting.
I don't know, but this is their home, so we must indulge.
It makes me feel really nostalgic for some reason.
Right, we've made up our minds. We will lift our spell on one condition: that you first lend us a helping hand. Or two. Or three. Once you've helped solve all of our troubles, we'll let you see Urion J. Pixie's honor.
I also love that the voice actor for Stoller voices Titania.
Well, there you have it. Pixie chores. I suggest we
Yeah,
split
really.
up.
Yeah. And now that you know that, you won't be able to unhear it. Next time you fight Titania, you'll be like, oh my god. Oh my god. I think that is an upgrade. Yeah, regular Titania. I think so, yes. 395, 385. Hell yeah. God. Oh, this is so bad. This is such a mess. Okay. Do I not have any of these? No one look. I don't have decent on this character, alright? Look, I got fucking minions and... Oh, jeez. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, the JP Stoller voice actor sang Suzaku's thing. That is correct. Yes. Oh, look at me, look at me. I have a task for you. Little Iran is our beloved village. We want it to always look lovely. It can't look lovely without flowers blooming, and no flowers bloom lovelier than Everblooms. So here are some Everbloom seeds. Take them and sow them here, there, and everywhere around the village. Simple as a dimple, yes? Pretty sure you guys have got like golems to do that for you. Little flower golems. Oh, I know. I know Gesh Spence, but I haven't unlocked it. You know, in a weird kind of way, I sort of prefer II Mheg before we lift the illusion cloud. Like when we've got a really, really low field of view. Draw distance, I should say. Kind of like adds a lot to it. That's what I think anyway. Wasn't there something else with one of the vocalists in one of the Primal themes? Where it was like someone from The Office? Or is it just the Suzaku one I'm thinking of? Oh, I can't wait for the flowers to bloom. Perhaps I'll make pretty curtains out of them. And the one Moogle here, like, doing his best to fit in. I wish this Moogle would offer some explanation. Oh, I know Koji did a lot of vocals for Omega and Alexander. Mortal, mortal, hear my plea. Our precious children are thirsty, and I need you to bring them water. Who are our children, you ask? Why, they're the leafmen you see standing about our village. Adorable, aren't they? Now, you need to go to Longmere Lake to draw the water. Once you have it, see that our children have a good drenching. Oh, but be warned, the Fuat make their home in the lake. I tend to play rough, so have care. Heckin' Fuas, man. Koji, autocorrect Jojo. Oh man, you know you're a weeb when. You're done sowing the seeds, thank you. Shall help Lida Laran live up to its name, which means flower house in case you weren't aware. We weren't always here, you know. We used to live deep in a lush forest. It was beautiful beyond compare, but almost all of it was swallowed up by the light. For a while we roamed, but eventually we found a place that men had abandoned. Together with our fellow faithful, we decided to make it our new home. The land of everlasting spring. This is our home, and it could be yours too. Forever and ever and ever. You know, it's easy to forget how low-key terrifying the Fae are until the Yulmorans show up anyway. Oh, I'm so hungry I may faint. Fruit, a little fruit will set me alright. Will you go and fetch some for me? Just outside the village you'll find a hillock. Two great bell trees grow there. If you give them a shake, that should render out their sweet succulent burdens. Like so much in this game. Yeah, there is so much in this game that is so dark and nefarious. And you just kind of like dig beneath that cutesy, innocuous surface, right? I like that though. Oh, you know what I don't like? I don't like that clip in there. Not crazy about that. You know, I don't know if we've got one yet, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've gotten a language primer for the Fae. In the same way that we have for a lot of other things. The Dravanians, perhaps most notably. For Dragon Speak. We can pick up quite a bit of it. You know, just from the cutscenes and the side quests and stuff like that. But it would be nice if we had a resource. Cheeky Fua. Where's the tall Fua, huh? I want to see the tall Fua. He's my favorite. So good. Guy says Japanese voice actor voiced Whamu. Right, okay. It's interesting. I mean, professional voice acting's a pretty small world. So it's not terribly surprising, but it's quite interesting. Did the Pixies and Fua travel together to II Mheg? I don't know if we know the precise timeline. I'd say it was all within, like, perhaps a couple of years or a couple of decades. But the Fua, I believe, created the lake. There was no water here. Obviously, you know, Vobert wasn't an underwater city. The doggos, yes. Yes, the doggos were already here. You've given water to our children. Thank you ever so much. They're all very dear to us. They wandered into II Mheg as stray mortals, but we grew attached to them and decided to take them in. You and yours would have been our children too, but the enchantment didn't catch as well as we'd hoped. It's never too late, of course. Let me see if I need any of this stuff as well. This is all 74, 74, 72. Okay, I'm good for all that. Oh, so hungry. Did you get the fruit? Yes. Oh, thank you ever so much. You've saved me. Yeah, saved me from my boredom. You should have seen the look on your face when the bugs came down. Oh, you've done me a great service, mortal. There's one thing we pixies are serious about. It's having fun. Dull and painful things, hate them. Sanitas are dull and painful both, so we hate them especially. You mortals try to fight those monstrosities, but there's no fun in that. Best to avoid them altogether, we say. Well, I mean, you say that, but, you know, you kind of got a light warden cooped up in a castle. Unto the truth. Oh, yes. Oh, we're coming up to one of the most important parts of Shadowbringers here. How goes it, Ethys? So, a mix of menial tasks and pranks. Yes, that pretty much sums up my own experience. No troubles worthy of the name. How long are we supposed to keep at this? They're clearly playing with us. Indeed. Whenever I inquire how much more there is to be done, the answer is ever the same. A little. I doubt they have any intention of releasing us in the near future. Oriange once told me a story about the pixies. They're born from the souls of those who died as children, or so it's believed. Though they don't have memories of their previous lives, the desire to have fun remains imprinted on their souls. And so they live only to play, being hapless mortals from for their pleasure for years on end, sometimes even until death. In that case, when I sought to identify the true nature of ghosts, I came upon literature. In the past, I don't know why I say in that case. In the past, when I sought to identify the true nature of ghosts, I came upon literature examining a similar subject. The soul was likened to a core that resides in the ether, and its presence is what differentiates us from such beings as sprites and arcane entities. Upon death, said core ordinarily dissipates alongside the ether that composed the flesh. However, it may be held together and bound to the corporeal realm, either by the will of its owner or by means of certain arts. In time, the soul may regather ether onto itself to assume another form, or find newly emerged life in which to abide. Pixies may be one such instance of this. If ghosts are merely souls without bodies, does that make us? I think you've become that which you fear most, brother dearest. However the pixies may have come into being, if we leave them to judge when they are satisfied, they will never be satisfied. Nay, we must negotiate new terms with the creatures. Where to begin? Seems to me we would need at least one among them to sympathize with us. Doi. Hey Vegeta, what's up? Thank you so much for 12 months, and yes, it is looking beefy, isn't it? Holy crap, it's so good. In the course of your chores, did any of you encounter a pixie who seems even faintly amenable to reason? Fairul. Gadoi. What? You knew a pixie from before? Not only are you acquainted, but you've entered into a pact? You might have mentioned this sooner. At any rate, I dare to hope this will offer us a way out. Without further delay then, summon this Fairul, if you please. I love it how mad she gets. We just totally forgot. They, sorry, not she. Why do we have to run over here to do it? Slash say. Fair. Voice rings out in your mind. So, my sapling has finally remembered about his lovely branch. Well, it's such a half-hearted goal, he may as well lock me off and cast me aside. I have no sapling. Let's try it again. Oh. Forgot about this. Please. Please. Fairul, I need you. Is that your idea of a fervent call? Someone long could do it with more fire. Oh, loveliest of branches, please grant me your succor. Fuck, that was party chat. Slash say.
Late. I've been waiting for you to summon me ever since you came here. Waiting and waiting and waiting. But my sapling didn't so much as utter my name. Such a heartless thing he is. Cold and cruel and heartless!
I love it so much.
Another self-important little brat. Just what we need.
Reminds me of my childhood.
All right, I'm sorry. It was a joke. Honestly, just a joke.
But just now you called for me so earnestly, so fervently. I couldn't possibly stay angry at you. Very well. As your lovely branch, I will lend you my strength.
I love how her strength is just to go and fucking yell at the other ones.
Well. If it isn't Fairul, the mold feel. It's been too long.
Not long enough for you to think of any new games, though, apparently. If I were you, I'd be bored of myself. Now let me make something clear. That mortal is mine. No matter what you do, she will never be yours. Never, ever!
not even a bit. But what about the others? Surely we can keep them.
No, you can't keep them either. They're for my amusement and mine alone. And if you lay so much as a finger on my sapling, I'll scatter the contents of his bag all over your precious village.
Oh, that's a lot of shit.
There'll be cold, hard metal, furry, festering food, stinky, sweaty small clothes, and all manner of other terrible, unmentionable things. How would you like that, hmm?
All right. But will you not at least let us play with the twins? Just while the others go and see Urianger?
Aye, that's all we ask. And we promise we'll play nicely.
It seems we won't be joining you.
Aye! We'll reveal the hidden Vernick to you at once.
So this is the true II Mheg.
How are you feeling?
Better. I think I remember the way now.
Apologies for the delay. Shall we go and see Urianger?
Yes!
Your
Yes!
branch is useful, yes? So whenever you're in trouble, you must remember to make use of me!
Shut up, Phil! I'm gonna go see my boy. Finally. For Alphino and Alize's sakes, let us be quick. It would be a shame to return only to find that they had been made to play one game too many. Now, the place we seek is the abandoned manor of a nobleman and a scholar. The Bookman's Shelves, it's called, after the fellow's vast collection of tomes. Agreeable habitat for our friend, I'm sure you agree. If we follow the path north, we should soon find the place. Come along. Okay. Oh man, and coming up to one of the most important cutscenes in the whole game. If you're a filthy nerd like me anyway. Seriously though, like this perhaps more than any other parts of Shadowbringers blew my mind. Give me that sweet, juicy etherology. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And here we are at long last. I give you Urianger's humble abode. Come, let's see if he's home.
Urianger, are you in?
And here he is with the Disney princess entrance.
A hero wends his way.
He's been practicing these lines in front of the mirror all morning.
Thou wouldst seek me out, but ne'er did I imagine thou wouldst arrive so soon. Full glad am I to see thee once more, my friend, and none the worse for thy travails.
Run along, Minfilia. We'll meet you outside.
But...
Another one for you to imbue, if you'd be so kind.
I really don't understand why Thancred doesn't let her sit in on this, since she already knows.
I take it thou hast met with our other comrades already?
Mostly.
That Master Alphino and Mistress Alize now travel in thy company is of great comfort to me. As for the rest, it beginneth in earnest. The hunting of the Light Wardens, and perforce the war with Yulmore. Hark thee then to my words, and through them behold the vision that I did glimpse, that of the 8th Umbral Calamity. As I drifted hither to the first, traversing the boundary twixt reality and potentiality, I did bear witness to events yet to come. There I saw the combined forces of Eorzea and the Far East offering fierce resistance to the legions of Garlemald. So fierce, in fact, that they did begin to push the enemy back. Ilm by painful ilm at first, then Yalm by Yalm, and Malm by Malm in time. Yet the joy they felt was short-lived, for in so doing they did force the Empire's hand. Faced with defeat, the Garleans turned to a weapon most vile: Black Rose. Its potency defied all reckoning. Once released, the gas took on a life of its own, wreaking untold carnage not only in Eorzea, but in the provinces of the Empire besides. From fighters upon the front lines to babes in their beds, none were spared. And as the casualties became too numerous to count, so did the fabric of civilization begin to unravel. Nor did the land itself escape unscathed. For spreading from the site of its release, Black Rose brought death to the very soil. To survive amidst the chaos and upheaval, men came to live by the sword, the rule of law giving way, inevitably, to the rule of might. Thus was the spark struck and the fire kindled, and swiftly did it spread as a blaze in a field of straw to engulf every corner of the world. Nations worthy of the name did then cease to exist. And those souls brave and true who might have risen to restore order were no more. For the weapon spared not one, not even thee. An endless age of war, begotten by the blight of Black Rose. Such is the legacy of the 8th Umbral Calamity which I did behold. No matter the cost, we must forestall this tragedy. To that end, I have labored during my sojourn in this world, discovering in so doing the answer to a pressing mystery. That of Black Rose's inexplicable potency. Come.
Oh, I already did.
Dost thou recognize yonder chart?
Mm-hmm. It's something to do with magic. Come on.
Indeed. 'Tis a rendering of the elemental wheel, such as one might find in classrooms across the source. As the chart maketh plain, our world is composed of 6 elements, in addition to which there exist 2 poles in fundamental opposition. Astral, the active, umbral, the passive. As a reflection of the source, the first naturally compriseth the selfsame forces. Yet, curiously, there is a notable divergence in their nomenclature. To be specific, the denizens of this world employ not the terms astral and umbral. Thus was I moved to inquire what names said forces had been assigned. A simple question which yielded a most unexpected answer. Upon demanding the name of the pole aligned with activity and growth, I was told that as life's myriad colors combine to produce black, the people of the first had called it darkness. At this, did my mind begin to race. Yet 'twas only when I asked what name had been given to the pole aligned with passivity that mine eyes were opened to the truth. Peace and tranquility being as purest white, unmarred by color, I was told it had been given the name of light.
That's umbral light and astral darkness, yes? I'm no etherologist, but it strikes me that the nomenclature of the first is rooted in the generation of the 2 forces, while our own appears to focus on their effects. Which makes one wonder, have we had it backwards all this time?
Yep. And it is here,
indeed a compelling
Gespenst.
question, and one which beareth closer examination.
It is in this universe.
Yet what knowledge we already possess sufficeth to explain the chain of events. The phenomenon of etheric thinning observed in the source is the consequence of light, the power of stasis, flowing in from the first to stifle the movement of ether within the land. And according to Master Alphino, Black Rose slayeth by halting the circulation of ether within living beings.
Nah, the sun's just got a bunch of umbral energy.
Should such a weapon be unleashed even as the first were rejoined, replete as it is with light,
we would have a disaster of untold proportions on our hands. A calamity.
It's just not completely polarized. It's just like mostly. It's like probably umbral fire.
At least we have a better grasp of what we're facing. Our objective, however, remains unchanged. We are to eliminate the Light Warden of II Mheg. Speaking of which, were you able to ascertain its whereabouts?
Aye. 'Tis all but certainly ensconced within Leergear, the castle which standeth in the midst of the lake. To enter said stronghold, we must needs turn to the pixies for aid. Fortunately, I have become quite adept at courting their cooperation. Henceforth shall I accompany you, and do all in my power to ensure that my vision doth not come to pass.
Urianger was hoping so hard during that explanation that we didn't have like a echo trigger that just kind of immediately showed that he was bullshitting. Because it would be so simple, wouldn't it? My friends, ere I speak of the task at hand, there is a question I would pose to thee. What thinkest thou of mine appearance? Oh, jeez. Did you take up astrology? Indeed. Though the night be lost behind the shroud of blinding light, doubt not, but that the stars shine still. I have chosen to avail myself of their guidance, that I might navigate the sea of uncertainty that stretcheth before us. For a blessing, my prior studies of astrology did provide me with adequate grounding in the art. But enough of myself. Let us now speak of our task. As I did mention, if we are to enter Lear Gear, we must needs gain the Pixies Corporation. This is a simple matter of presenting unto them a suitable gift. I shall procure a selection of viands that shall please their palate. Tancred, pray assist me in this endeavor. Meanwhile, Ethys, I bid thee obtain that which will please their eyes. In these parts there abideth a vilekin known for its beauteous wings, the hawker. I shall lend thee a receptacle, within which thou mayst capture a weakened specimen. How do we know that we're not the ones that have astronomical name switch? Because we can observe them here, Gespenst. We can observe that, that static ether in the empty, because that's what's going on. The ether is still there, it's completely static. We can observe that, and we do observe that, and it emanates light. We can also observe, we could observe in the void, or with void sense, a massive proclivity of astral energy. You call it rabbit and horse ether? Well, that's basically what we do on the source, yeah. That's basically what we do. It's more like, intuitive. It's more like, well, light is good and dark is bad. Whereas here it's like, no, Umbral ether literally produces light. Like, it emanates light. When we see it in extreme case. No, we don't call on that in the source, but that's because like we haven't seen a phenomena like a flood of light in the source. Like we haven't really seen the kind of phenomena that would lead to the conclusion. Like we haven't seen such a massive amount of umbral energy in a phenomena like I just need to weaken these things. In a phenomena like the flood of light, where we would sort of make that association. And astral, on the other hand, doesn't produce darkness so much as it just like causes ether to blow out. That it leaves void behind. We don't call umbral ether darkness, we call it umbral. Yeah, we call it umbral, but we associate it with we've always associated it with darkness. Like the Dark Ages, we call umbral eras. It's just we've confused causality. Thou art returned. Wert thou able to capture a hawker? Ah, truly magnificent set of wings. I shall treat them at once to make fast their vibrant colours. Thancred too shall return anon, upon which I shall ready all the items for presentation. Pray take thine ease meanwhile.
"'Tis done. The pixies shall be well pleased with these gifts. Ah, lest I forget. White auracite, newly forged for thy use. Our mission being to thwart a rejoining, we will most assuredly cross paths with those who crave the contrary, our eternal enemies. Thus did I choose to abide in this ether-rich land, the better to fashion a trap for the Ascian's essence.
Man, we haven't even run into Ametselk yet, and Urianger's already got it all fucking sorted out.
May I come in
He's
now?
so smart.
You may indeed, assuming you've finished.
I did as you asked.
That's my girl, thank you.
Basically, catch pens. Pretty much.
I should probably explain. Though my body remained behind in the source, its limitations saw fit to accompany me. Which is to say, I cannot manipulate ether. I took up the gunblade for its defensive advantages, but on account of my little impairment, I cannot imbue the ammunition myself. Luckily for me, Minfilia has quite a talent for it.
Minfilia, once we set forth, we are not like to return for some while. If thou wouldst choose tomes to take with thee, let it be now.
Really? May I?
Of course, my dear. Yet have care thou dost not add overmuch to thy burden, lest I incur Thancred's ire.
I so love the whole two gay dads narrative here. Man, it's so good. It's so, so good. Thancred's like, you always do this. You always make me be the bad guy. You spoiler!
To him of thine encounter with the Minfilia of Eld.
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any.
Uh-oh.
As you know, I freed young Minfilia from captivity in Yulmore some 3 years past. Not long after, the two of us journeyed to the south of Armareng, to the edge of the Empty, where the flood was halted. 'Twas there that she awakened. The Minfilia of old. My Minfilia.
Tell me, what must I do to bring you back?
My dearest Thancred, as I am now, I am no different from an Ascian. This child is but a vessel. One of many I have used that I might spread word of her enduring blessing and preserve the flame of hope. In my name, each has died, never having lived her own life. I have taken enough from these children. I will take no more.
But what of your suffering? Your sacrifice? This isn't fair!
I will not stand for it. I cannot. There must be something we can do. Tell me.
Should the day come when this child grows weary of fighting and wishes to cast it all aside, then shall I take up her burden. But should she wish instead to become the master of her own destiny, then shall I bequeath to her my all. Imbued with the strength that I reserve for rebirth, she may come to wield my powers as her own.
And what of my wishes? What of Flamine's? What of all the people who love and care for you and want nothing more than to see you again?
It is not their decision to make. It is hers. This child's. This Minfilia's.
I know, Sathlin, I know.
You have ever watched over me, Thancred.
Oh, the feels. That was Minfilia's dad lying dead there. Because Flaming and Neil Fresnay wanted to
do the same for her.
impress the
Protect her.
monetarists.
Teach her. Stand by her as you stood by me. There is much and more she does not know. She needs a guide to show her the ways of the world, or she will never find her own path. When the time comes, you will find me here. Until that day.
Minfilia, wait!
What happened?
And then she was gone. Minfilia, the girl, claims to have no recollection of any of it. I have told her many things. Where we came from, what we fight for. But of that day, I have not spoken.
Yeah, Thancred, how do you want this to end?
With the coming of another possessed of the blessing of light, the first hath begun to rise up in defiance of its fate. The question remaineth, however, who shall take up the flame of hope which Minfilia hath borne for so long? Whether we will it or no, the choice must soon be made.
I'm sorry I took so long. It was so hard to choose. In the end, I settled on just the one.
That is a huge book.
That is well. Now, if all is in order, let us set forth for Lida Loran.
Dang book's the size of her. Oh, she totally eavesdropped. She's totally had like an echo flash of that same scene with Thancred as well. Like, from what we gather, it's when people recollect particularly strong or emotional memories, it tends to trigger. Hard to imagine that he's managed to keep it from her. He's probably told her like so many stories of stuff that happened in like ARR and Heavensward, and she's just like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, you were dreaming about it last week. Yeah, she's got the echo, yeah, absolutely. We weren't expecting you all back so soon. We had scarcely begun playing with the twins. That said, your gifts are truly wonderful. Let me tell you, the milk and honey and biscuits won't last a day, and the wings are the loveliest we've ever seen. You've done us a great kindness, and it's Fae custom to return the gesture. If you desire anything of us, you need but name it. Okay. Well, I think it's hilarious that Tesleen calls Alizé out for telling Tesleen a bunch of stories about us. So, what's the desire? Rusty old coins like you mortals want to collect, perhaps? We are resolved to vanquish the Light Warden of this land. To that end, we desire entry to Ligia. What a strange thing to wish for! You might as well ask for your death. But if that's what you want, who are we to argue? Very well, I shall speak with the others. You've clearly been busy, Urianger. Would you be so kind as to tell us what we've missed? Unfortunately, Toasty, she probably saw that. So that was the purpose of the gifts. Is there anything you can tell us about this Light Warden? Aye, my lady. By circumstances most tragic, Light Warden of this land is our king and ruler, Titania. It was not always so, of course. Our king fought the first Light Warden that threatened our home, you see. Fought it and won. But all the horrible lights that came out and went and corrupted them, turning into a new Light Warden. Now they're king only in name, not the remains of the wise and just ruler that used to be. We had no choice but to seal them in the castle. The magic for breaking the seal we divided into 4 and wove each into a different relic to be kept apart until the time was right. And this dress is one of them. It's been in our safekeeping for years and years. We've decided to entrust it to you. Those gashes in the mountain that you see behind us there were actually caused by the fight between Titania and the Light Warden. Are you sure? Of course. Custom demands it. Though you're most certainly going to your deaths, we thought we should at least let you try. That way we get to watch what happens. Of course, you can't break the seal unless you have the other relics too. The shell crown is with the Fua, the stone scepter is with the Numo, and the crystal shoes with the Amaro. Good luck finding them all. The facts thus disclosed confirm mine own understanding. Our quest lieth now before us. First, let us hie to the lake there to claim the shell crown from the Fua. We call to them before the untouchable gate, they will answer. And the story really starts to pick up pace here a bit, doesn't it? It took us like, what? 6 hours to get from 70 to 71 quests, and now we've gone 71 to 73 in like a couple of hours. Alright, well, I find it really interesting, by the way, that II Mheg is like this illusory space that follows this path like back up and winds up towards the castle. Like this microcosmic plane. Well, I think I'm gonna leave it there for tonight, guys. Because we get into II Mheg, that's gonna take like half an hour with trusts, and before we know it, what I said was gonna be a short stream tonight is gonna end up like 6 hours. So I'm going to go make myself some dinner and get this up on the YubTubs. And those of you over on YouTube, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying so far. I hope you're not too bothered by the various tangents. I've been trying to keep this fairly like YouTube friendly by muting notifications and all of that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, and I'll see you in the next part. Take care, YouTube. Bye. Bye.